Hey everyone, Jacob's here. Today we're going to review Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer film. Please subscribe before continuing to explore the world of cinema with us. Nolan's 12th film, Oppenheimer, feels like the culmination of everything the director has done so far in his already remarkable career. Nolan employs all of the skills and methods that have made him such a notable auteur to bring to life the extraordinary accomplishments, sufferings, and life of J. Robert Oppenheimer. From the multiple timelines of Memento and Dunkirk, to the staggering abstract footage in Interstellar, to his ability to build tension and anticipation through stunning scores and impeccable editing. Nolan has not only made one of his best films, but also unquestionably the most mature film of his career, by adapting this vast and enormous true event for the big screen. In telling the story of Oppenheimer, Nolan returns to a technique he used in Memento, by showing one man's experience through varying timelines. Similar to Memento, this one alternates between a black and white and a color timeline. In the color timeline, Oppenheimer examines his past from his point of view by testifying at a hearing about his involvement with the Manhattan Project, the development of the first atomic bomb, his ties to communism, and his affairs, while witnesses from different periods of his life attend to give their versions of him. In the black and white scenes, Nolan follows Lewis Strauss, who is seeking to win the nomination for Secretary of Commerce, as he explains his relationship with Oppenheimer over the years. Through these contradictory timelines, which each depict significant events from unique angles, Oppenheimer reveals the many facets of a man who performed extraordinary things, yet later worried the implications of what his study would ultimately lead to. The best acting performance. Cillian Murphy, who has appeared in 5 of Nolan's prior films as a supporting character, finally receives the lead role here, and the outcome is fantastic. Despite the fact that Oppenheimer is portrayed as being a relatively quiet man, Cillian Murphy manages to convey every moment of anxiety, every moment of fear for what his ideas might ultimately imply, and every moment of excitement at a new discovery through minute mannerisms and the worry in his eyes. We may sense the effects of Oppenheimer's accomplishments just by looking into Cillian Murphy's eyes, or seeing the way he pauses in a phrase, despite the fact that his acts in this instance are world-changing. Cillian Murphy is magnificently controlled in this instance. After years of collaboration with Nolan, Murphy's portrayal of Oppenheimer will be remembered as one of the greatest performances ever caught by Nolan's camera. One of the best casts in modern film. Although it may sound exaggerated, Nolan has assembled one of the most astounding casts in modern cinema, a staggering array of talent that casts Oscar winners Rami Malek, Gary Oldman, and Kenneth Branagh in minor supporting roles, while elevating actors like Cillian Murphy, who is frequently cast in smaller supporting roles, to major roles. While there are too many outstanding performances to single out, it's nice to see actors like Alden Ehrenreich, Benny Safdie, and David Krumholtz in significant roles. Josh Hartnett and Jason Clarke are also wonderful to watch in this film. In contrast to Cillian Murphy's Oppenheimer, Robert Downey Jr. leaves the biggest impression of the entire cast. Lewis Strauss, played by Robert Downey Jr., is an engaging contrast to Oppenheimer since he keeps his secrets to himself, whereas Oppenheimer tends to flaunt his emotions on his sleeve. It's amazing to see Robert Downey Jr. explore this type of role after years in the MCU pipeline as Iron Man. His more subjective perspective on Oppenheimer's life and career provides us with a perspective we rarely get in films about real-world individuals, and Robert Downey Jr. gives one of his best performances as well. Also noteworthy is Matt Damon as Leslie Groves, who puts Oppenheimer in his position at the Manhattan Project. The relationship between Oppenheimer and Groves is one of the most complex in the film, and it's fascinating to watch how it shifts over the years. The substantial female roles filled by Florence Pugh as Oppenheimer's on-again, off-again partner Jean Tatlock and Emily Blunt as Oppenheimer's wife Kitty. Florence Pugh only gets a few scenes, but her impact resonates with Oppenheimer long after his last scene. Emily Blunt has a far more significant role, since we witness her pleading with Oppenheimer to fight back while he is being brutally upped by his own government. It's difficult to avoid relating to her total wrath at his behavior, and her frustrations with her life circumstances reveal parts of Emily Blunt that we've never seen before. The script and directing. But beyond this embarrassment of riches that is this cast, it is Nolan's ability to collaborate with the ideal individuals to bring Oppenheimer to life in all its splendor that makes it such a monumental accomplishment. Of course, it all starts with Christopher Nolan's screenplay, which was adapted from the book American Prometheus by Kai Bird and Martin J. Sherwin. In bringing this 700-plus page book to the screen, Nolan has crafted an incredibly dense script that never manages to feel too convoluted or overwhelming. A feat in itself, considering how many timelines and characters are thrown into the mix. There is so much life and story to be told here, and the fact that Nolan can navigate all of this succinctly and without getting in over his head is astounding. Behind the camera, Nolan is using some of his previous skills and techniques, but in a way that feels more skilled and meticulous than ever. It almost seems as though Nolan's entire career has been leading up to this moment. Oppenheimer permits Nolan to be brash, but never excessively so as to detract from the story. While Nolan has frequently felt like he is the true star of his own films, he knows how to step aside here to let the plot take precedence above bombast. Instead, the focus should be on the actors and Oppenheimer's disrupting story. The cinematography. Hoyt van Hoytema, who Nolan has worked with since 2014's Interstellar, knows exactly how to beautifully shoot every scenario Nolan throws at him. When you think you've seen all the tricks Nolan and Hoytema have up their sleeves, they surprise you with another. Every frame is breathtaking. The way the two increase the tension before the first bomb is dropped is astounding. But just as significant is the way the camera shakes around Oppenheimer when the effects of his research become too much for him to handle. It appears as though the world could collapse at any moment, both literally and figuratively. The scoring. Oppenheimer's ever-present score by Ludwig Göransson accompanies nearly every moment of the film, knowing exactly when to pull back, or when to provoke the audience with the sounds of a ticking clock or static underneath the onslaught of an orchestra fully enveloping the viewer in sound. While the visuals by Nolan and Hoytema are consistently stunning, it is Göransson's score that elevates Oppenheimer to a new level and further establishes his status as one of the most intriguing composers now active in the film industry. Oppenheimer is a monumental accomplishment for everyone involved, not just Nolan. It's the kind of film that makes you appreciate every part of filmmaking and astounds you with how well everything fits together. Even while Nolan is perfecting the skills that have gotten him to where he is now, this film takes those skills to a completely new level that we haven't seen him at before. With Oppenheimer, Nolan has reached a new level of maturity as a director, and it seems as though we're only now starting to see the absolutely amazing work he's capable of producing. We gave Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer film 10 from 10. If there's any topic that you want me to discuss, please comment below. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also turn notification on. See you in the next video.